Welcome everybody to the Breachers Season 3 Week 1 VRML. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I'm joined by Filibust with 2 L's. Phil, how are you doing this afternoon? It's an exciting matchup, highly voted on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hyped. I always get to be casting the Breachers. I really need a distraction because I just broke my CV1 headset, so I'm like, it's good to get my head into some esports. Get this to be a hype match. I got a couple. I actually have old teammates. A little fun fact on both of these teams. I was on a team with Rise Optimal for a little bit, and then Tire Tongue on Vic. So on the other side. So I got the dogs in both sides of this fight. So be a good one. I'm excited.
It is INVICT versus Vanguard. We're not even going to bother pulling up matchup history because, quite frankly, there is none at this stage. It's the first week of the season, and really this is just kind of the algorithm doing work. It's taking history of teams, where they played last season, how they performed last season, and calculating that all in. And in Vic's case, they're a new team to Season 2 with a roster that's got, like you were saying, a lot of experience. They played on other teams. Blue comes from Rect, Formula 3. They were just on stage. You know, like there's a lot of good talent here on this INVICT squad. And in comparison, Vanguard, I do believe coming in from a Season 1 performance. Am I right on that?
Vanguard was Season 1 as well, yep.
Yeah. From a Season 1 performance where I think they've had a pretty consistent roster, not too big of shakeups going into this third season. But, yeah, very interested to see where we settle on this series overall. I think it's an interest. A lot of people have their votes in, Phil, and it's 43-20 in favor of Vanguard. So the Vanguard, the audience very much thinking Vanguard is going to win today, but it's a pretty split vote. I mean, 20 votes to the other side. I think a lot of people are reading into that INVICT roster and their past in the league.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy hitters. I mean, this new roster is getting put together. I mean, I look at these guys, like you said, Blue was just on stage, Rezi. I mean, they've got the talent.
Yeah.
But as we've seen, this is definitely a team game. So really, are they going to be able to come together and put that talent to work? How well do they play off of each other? How good, it's all about the vibes. People play good when the vibes on the team are good. So if things start rolling in their favor, I have no doubt that INVICT can definitely run away with this.
Yeah, it's the toss-up. It's why I was also probably highly voted on for our Sunday night matchup. Sunday afternoon, almost. We're not quite there yet, but it's I suppose if you're on the East Coast, it is Sunday night fight for us today as we do await Invictus getting their 5th. INVICT, not Invictus. They're getting their 5th into the lobby here. We do have the full 5 for Vanguard right now. We see Rise Optimal, Jester, Cosmos, Zombie, and Dark. And again, once we have that full roster on Vict, we will be ready to dive into our first map. And I mean, Phil, we've got a new map in the arsenal this season. We talked a little bit about it last week. Just yesterday, a couple days ago when we were casting that match earlier. But it is something that I'm curious to see. Is it going to be in play? Do you think teams are banning this map consistently?
So when you get a new map into the pool, it creates an opportunity. So a lot of teams who are afraid of this will ban it because what some teams will do when a new map comes out is they will throw everything into learning that map as quickly as possible and practicing it and training it. And then you bring that to a match as kind of not really a curveball, but as you put so much work and the map's only been out for so many weeks that you kind of are gambling that the other team will not have that much experience on it. And for fear of that happening, a lot of teams will ban it. So why you don't get a lot of teams that haven't done that are willing to risk playing on a new map just in case the other team has gone and put in that prep work. But like I mentioned before, I gotta believe that. I mean, right now, Dam is actually at the top of my map list. I played it a few times, just in like competitive, but it seems like it's a bigger map. You got longer range fights. You've got a lot more like stairwells and weight rotations that you can do to outplay your opponents. So when people really start to get that map down, maybe like next season after that, or maybe even towards the end of this season, we start seeing it a little bit. I think you're gonna see. Oh, it's got a lot of potential. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay. All right, yeah, it's yet to be picked. I don't think any cast has had it yet. So, It's well, soon, eventually, someone's gonna choose it. You know, I can't wait till eventually we get a series where Acer's on it. You know, or we get to see Wrecked on it. You know, like it's gonna be a really exciting addition to the overall pool, and it changes, like you said, a lot about how you play the overall series too. So, does look like we did start with 4 on the side of Vict.
Wonder if they're going to be 45. And I did notice they only have 5 active on their roster at the moment. Roster probably not completely finished out. So I wonder if they're stuck playing a 4v5 due to availability or cancellation or something. Maybe internet problems.
I think we're going in. So let's start into it. It looks like we're headed towards Hideout for the opening series. And, well, not exactly what I think the folks at home were rooting for today. I think obviously we wanted to see a good back and forth. I wanted to see this INVICT squad essentially get their first try, you know, that their trial week going. But to not have a full roster, that's kind of the first test, right, Phil? We don't talk about it a lot, but it's not an easy thing to man a full roster consistently across a 12-week season.
Very true. Very true. It looks like, and maybe a dropout here from Vanguard. But, you know, hopefully, you know, everybody from Vanguard just left the server. So I wonder
we're
if
getting
we had an accidental button push. Maybe fingers crossed. Maybe
them,
somebody's just running a little bit late.
Yeah. I told them you don't need to start if you're still waiting for your 5th. I just said that we're ready. So I'm not sure, maybe a misinterpretation on what we were trying to do there for map 1, but we'll sort out the tech elements soon.
Gave them the thumbs up, and they thought you were cracking the whip.
Yeah. It's okay. We will just do a hot restart, get into a new lobby, and hopefully have a full 5v5. To your point, sometimes that 5th can just be lagging a little bit, and
happens.
Yeah.
You think coordinating on a full 5-man squad on what to do in the game is difficult? Try getting 5 people logged into the same server at the same time, with different time zones. It can get crazy, you know.
Yeah, hats off to all the teams that do manage their rosters, and it's why we like to sponsor orgs and groups like Helga, where it's an app that helps you schedule your day-to-day as a team, and so. Does look like we do have people joining. We'll see. We'll see if we get a full roster. One thing in particular, obviously, Phil, too, is that you don't want to start your first week in a season as a new team with not your best foot forward. You know, you want to have all 5 in, ready to play, and you want to have your best shot at challenging what is, I think, again, a team that has Victus is the underdog. INVICT is the underdog. That's kind of, I think, how I interpret this series. Vanguard, definitely the squad, bringing experience, which matters a lot, especially if we're going to consider we're going to Hideout for map 1. That's a map that has been in existence for a tremendous amount of time in this game, and players are very familiar with the ins and outs of that map. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think a whole lot has changed, even with recent updates too on the map.
No, yeah, Hideout has remained tried and true. One of the better, like I said, Hideout is my go-to map when starting out with a new squad as well, because it's a bit smaller, it's a little bit simpler, it's easier to get your head fully wrapped around it. Kind of the opposite of that new map, Dam, which is massive and there's all these different angles and it's crazy. Hideout is small, it's simple, it's a good map, it's big enough to move around, but it's easier to get down and hold down, and it stayed tried and true. Not a lot of crazy updates going in, and I agree, yeah, especially when you're going up against a team like Vanguard. I'm looking at some of the people on Vanguard. Evil Jester and Cosmos, they were on the old Infinity roster. They were like top dogs in the league for a while, right? In that #1 spot, if I'm not mistaken. So these guys definitely no slouch to playing top tier breachers, and they've been probably winning Hideout more often than not since day 1.
Yeah, I'm reaching out to see if they are going to be getting a 5th at some point in this series, because at this stage we're at a point where you do need to start the map, and so we are starting officially now. We are going to go in to Hideout, but they will be down a player. So not exactly how INVICT wants to be opening up this series. But I don't have any indicator that a fifth is coming. He says he will be joining, so maybe that's why they wanted the bot, just in case they join in and they can populate that bot's soul. But like a Jaeger, pilot it like a Jaeger bot. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out for INVICT as we do get ready to go in to round 1 here, Phil. And with Vanguard on the attack, they can definitely set the pace in the tone with a map like Hideout.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see them try to make a quick play on the pistol, try and take advantage of that man advantage that they have before the enemy can get a fifth player in. I mean, that's a double-edged sword. That could pay dividends, or it could bite them if Victus managed to shut it down. We're gonna see a drone play in through the garage.
We both want to do it the same thing. I'm gonna stomp it right now. Victus, Invictus. We got to go INVICT. It's weird. I know. I don't know why my mouth wants to say Invictus or Victus, but it's INVICT. Into it we go though. As INVICT is gonna have to weather this push in from Vanguard.
Yeah, full garage control immediately. Dark somehow ripped down to 1 point of health. We got a nade coming in. Nobody home behind the counter. Double nades coming in to really clear out this B bomb site. Counter nade comes through. Not quite. Oh, it is going to find the mark. A zombie drops down. 2 nade kills.
Through the wall.
From INVICT. 4v2 situation now, and with Dark on only 1 point of HP and the EMP stuck on the wall. But Sarah pushing around for a bit of the action. Getting a little piece of Evil Gesture.
What?
Oh, it trades back and forth, and it is INVICT who managed to come out on top after an amazing couple of nade kills to open the round up. An immediate retake. As soon as that EMP was down on the wall, that was like a green light for them to retake control of the bomb site, and they pulled it off. What a way to start this match off. INVICT came to play today.
Wow, that was a great retreat back there, and I mean, it almost went terribly wrong for INVICT on that rotate out. They were dropping like flies coming out of that hole in the wall. But you send enough bodies out, you'll eventually find your mark and get down what was a 2v4 there in that corner. So hats off to Vanguard, almost a positive offensive round in the books. And like you said, applying that pressure early and fast definitely almost did work. But even now, they still don't have the fifth from INVICT. So the message I have is they will be joining. Who knows how long it will be until they do join, Phil. So to your point again, got to kind of go quick with these rounds to continue to play that advantage. It's just kind of the way it is. We have rules in place where you have to start rounds at certain times. Otherwise, you could do all kinds of mischievous things to delay rounds and stuff like that. So it's just how it kind of goes, and they're playing into it right now at the very least. It's kind of like a power play, I think, is the way we're interpreting it. But it's really just an unfortunate misscheduling. Maybe they got traffic. Who knows what the issue is on their fifth. Ideally, they'll be in soon enough. Hopefully not a whole half, but hey, who knows? We're into round 2 right now with everyone alive on both sides.
Yeah, full lobby control already for Vanguard. They got foam on the AWOL drone, finding its way through. A nice nade into the back of the site. That's going to find a lot of damage. Tire tongue goes down. The damage on great. They got the pick onto Gel Q as well. Oh, now Resi Q still has this dozen in hand, but he's going to have to go hard to even this round up. There's a first kill. Finds a second. Down to a 2v3. Over the third.
Almost 3.
Doesn't find the 3-piece, and the round does get shut down by Vanguard. They put their first one on the board. They're going to collect that Vezin. And yeah, that man disadvantage looking like it was hurting. I mean, I don't know. That was a really strong play by Vanguard. I'm not sure one extra body even would have been enough.
No, and it was a nice near clutch coming in from the Vezin there with those multi-kills, but ultimately, as like you said, a solid coordinated push from Vanguard, much like when they pushed into that objective space and then retreated out. They're very in sync this afternoon, and it's what you expect from a team that has experience playing at a high level. It's what's more impressive is how INVICT did fight as well as they did on the defensive half. I'm again coming into this series seeing INVICT as the underdogs for all intents and purposes, despite the roster having some experience playing at high levels. They are a new roster, and we were talked about this before, but the teamwork and coordination, especially in a game like Breacher's, vital. The most, it's like what it's 60% mental, 40% physical, whatever. It's like teamwork is a good chunk of success in a game of Breachers, and obviously Vanguard are here to play this afternoon. The question is, can they do that with rifles in hand, utility in hand? We'll find out as our full buy round unfolds here. Round 3, and what a nade from Rez. Are you kidding me?
And they do have a 5th joined into the server. Flighty did manage to find his way in now, so we are full 5v5 strong now going into round 3. And it's an interesting situation because after Vanguard took 2nd round, they got a full buy, and we still got INVICT buying up into 3 Vezins here, plus their 5-man, plus getting that initial nade pick. A very interesting round as we got a drone coming in through B hole in the wall. Everybody on INVICT is tucked in to the spot they want. This nade coming through, not quite going to find the mark. Watch Flighty tuck just around the corner here, ready to hold the storage down. And it looks like Vanguard are taking this opportunity to move in. Rise Optimal with the EMP has found his way in. He's going to place that EMP on the wall. It's going to be a huge sound cue for the defenders. Flighty's going to come around the corner, find the first pick, gets a free. Oh, no, he gets traded out by Dark through the storage, but Tire Tongue is there to bring Zombie down. But that EMP did get planted. So Rise in a 1v4, but it is a post plant with the EMP planted for him outside. Let's see if he can make something happen. He's peeking out. He gets one, and immediately Flutha Great. Is that how you say that? Flutha Great was there for the trade. Very nice retake there by INVICT, and they go back into the lead up 2-1. Very impressive stuff.
Flew the Great.
Flew the Great.
Yeah.
Flew the Great. Okay, I got you. Flew the Great. I might just call him Flew.
Yeah, I think that'll work. If they can, if their holiness can handle that, we'll go with Flew. But yeah, a solid round there, and again a replay on that push in. You know, it was a decent attempt, but a good swing out, an entire counterplay. Everybody on that defensive side pushing out together to shut down that bomb from going down, the EMP from going down. Too many shooter games in my mind right now. And ultimately a solid defensive set there. INVICT up 2-1, have a nice lead. Votes not in their favor, and so right now they are going against what everyone at home was sort of expecting this afternoon.
Yeah, a bit of a connoisseur upset they've got cooking in the works, and now they've got a little bit of breathing room. Vanguard don't have enough money. They're going to do a little bit of a half buy here. It looks like they're setting up for a full buy next round regardless of this. And INVICT, meanwhile, have a full util set up. They got double trip mines. They got proximity sensors all over the place. So this is going to be a much more difficult round for Vanguard to break into. And we're back onto the top floor where they did win the 1 round they have so far. Drone clearing out the lobby. You're going to see everybody dropping into the lobby except for Rise, who's still controlling that drone. He's going to spot the trip mines around the corner here. Hopefully they're able to clean that up. Working his way under the door blocker. Foam on the wall. Trip mines do get taken out. And that drone gets taken out through the little crack under the door. Very impressive shot there from INVICT. The wall gets opened up, and here comes the attack onto the A-bomb site.
Pushing in, shots from Dark over the top. Utility not quite crashing into the right corners, so the Vanguard offense still alive and healthy. That nade just missing. That nade going too far. Cosmos and Dark tuck in, but not before Dark gets scooped up by Rezi. Rezi swings out for a double, looking for 3, can't get it. The backside of the team trying to pick up the rest of Vanguard, and it's a 4v3 with a bit of a pause. And oh my, no pause. Wash Flighty finds a double on the bottom floor on their flank, and it leaves it all down to Rise Optimal in a 1v4.
Yeah, Rise Optimal drops down through that hatch, trying to creep around the back, but he gets spotted out by Gelcule, and with nothing but a Spectral to his name, is not going to be able to get anything done, and it's 4 left alive on the side of INVICT. Very clean round number 4 in the bag for them. Up 3-1 now, and yeah, I think these connoisseur voters who put their money on Vanguard might be getting a little nervous at this point.
Might be getting a tad bit nervous, but it's still obviously the first half of this map. You know, we're almost done with it, but it is still the first half. INVICT are on defense, and so they're piling up defensive rounds. Vanguard at this stage maybe just looking for 1 or 2 more, a foot in the door, a little something to get things going for them so that when we do swap sides, they can then put up a consistent defensive half and then win out that map overall. So even 1 point now is sort of enough to do that for them when it comes to the side swap when the half is done, but it's still a solid opener for INVICT. With all the expectations leading into Vanguard, this team is looking very good, coordinated, and even playing a bit aggressive here. As we see Gel getting up, placing an audio transmitter right up against that window, so I imagine they can either shoot through the wall at their opponents or peek out through that doorway.
really interesting tripwire placements by INVICT this round. They got 2 of them on the ceiling, trying to catch anyone who sneaks in and tries to go immediately behind that desk off guard. I've never seen anyone use this. I'm curious to see if they'll catch Evil Jester off guard, but he's going to go towards the van. He spots the trip mines and takes him out, and Zombie finds an opening pick onto Rezi somewhere on the map. I didn't see what that was.
Oh my! Washed Flighty springs a trap in the corner, catches 2, and it is a solid opening defensive half for Vict. Again, Vanguard getting chipped apart early.
Counter aggression came in strong there. INVICT came to play today, and this is a full buy round for Vanguard, mind you. They threw a lot of money into this, really hoping to put their second round on the board here, and it looks like, based on the positioning of Rise and Cosmos here, they might be stuck into a save, trying to scrape what they can for the last round of the half here. Vamp shots coming through from behind the desk as the action does seem to calm down quite a bit here. I think Vanguard, I mean, they're thinking about trying to make something happen for this round. The problem with saving here is that even for the last round, you bring 2 guns in, the rest of your team's still probably not going to be able to buy. I mean, they got a pretty decent loss bonus, but they bought all the way down to 0 pretty much this round, so it's going to be difficult to scrape more than those 2 Vezins onto the board. I think they might actually try to make something happen here. We'll see. Cosmos worked his way into the garage. It looks like they are going to try to make something happen as Rise vaults into the laundry, looking for that opening pick, and all 4 members of INVICT are here to defend this B-bomb site.
That audio transmitter giving a little bit of information late stage in the game that Rise Optimal vaults through, so they're very much aware that they have 1 player on this half of the doorway. You know, they're very much probably waiting for the breach to open up or for this push to come. There's the breaching foam that gets tossed across, and I think they even saw the breaching foam get tossed across. Audio transmitter gives info away. Cosmos catches 1 through the wall. Cosmos catches 2 through the breach. The second breach comes open. And it is up to Cosmos alone in a 1v2. The duo tucked in. Both walls cracked.
Util is out. Smoke grenades cutting off that main doorway. 41 seconds left on the clock. He's going to slow things down here a little bit. Needs to find an isolating 1v1 fight with one of these players. Is he going to spot Gel's shoulder? Gel staying tucked in. Nice discipline play here from INVICT. He's going to spot the head. He goes for the killer.
Oh.
Gel is going to come out on top of that one, and that's going to be the 4th round on the board for INVICT here. I think they're surprising people, showing everybody that this roster packs a wallop.
Really does. Solid opening there. Solid half. Round 6 now, as they are going to want to kind of wrap a bow on this defensive portion with a 5-1 lock-in. It then sets them up for simply a pistol round and a full buy, where they likely have, or they'll have a significant advantage if they win that pistol round. And you know, that's the 1-2 punch. You know, once you swap sides. So that's what they're looking at trying to achieve here. If they can lock in this good half, Vanguard again obviously want to give a little bit more cushion to themselves here, where they can potentially do an eco round if they need to, instead of having to invest in a suboptimal way. Granted, we've seen Omens kind of shine lately, Phil. I don't know, man. I'm seeing some SMGs see a little bit of like, that's kind of a nice idea. That worked out pretty well for it. You know, it's early though. It's week 1. It's week 1. Who knows how things will shape up? But I don't know. Maybe some players are starting to wise up to our early con thoughts that we were putting out there, Phil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the value for the value to cost ratio for the Omen is definitely very impressive. As Nade comes down, immediately taken out. And, they got a quick drop in through the hatch. This round gets right underway. Rise Optimal, Evil Jester, and Dark. That's 4 members now. Vanguard dropping through this hatch. They got a smoking
This plan.
Plant the EMP in the
I haven't
smoke.
seen this.
A huge double piece there from Gelfalo is going to shut that attacking idea down. And yeah, Vanguard not able to find any picks now, as it's just Zombie and Cosmos left in a 2 versus 5. There's Zombie finding 1 pick with that oral through the smoke. Cosmos slowly creeping his way around the back, but it is an uphill battle. They're going to need to find some kills, get back into this round. Gel is charging forward. Wash Flighty actually finds the headshot from the backside there. The pressure was too strong on the defense there for INVICT. As we go into the side swap, it's a 5-1 halftime score.
Solid half for INVICT, but now it's again really kind of, well, let's see. Side swap and Vanguard get to kind of settle in a little bit. They get to control, in some ways, the pace, although I imagine INVICT are going to want to go in fast right now. You come up 5-1. If you kind of steamroll through a pistol round 6-1, that's maybe the best way to set the pace, to set the tone, to get the momentum in your favor so that you can really kind of suppress any extra rounds that are going to get scooped up here by Vanguard. This is a big moment for INVICT to get a big Map 1 win and really have, again, a lot of momentum that carries them into that Map 2, which I think is their pick. So they can then pick map or side, and that's a good, again, momentum. They can get things rolling for them into the next map. It's how they're going to want to try and execute here, but that's a lot to be said. A lot of guesswork there, and we'll see if INVICT do play this slow and steady as opposed to getting overly aggressive. They are going to definitely put some drone work in, and Rise Optimal getting aggressive with a nade out the back that almost catches Tire Tongue, just a slice of damage instead.
Yeah, very cheeky little aggression there upstairs. I don't think he was expecting 4 players of INVICT to be right outside that doorway, but he manages to get away. And getting a little bit of nade damage there is a good result. But yeah, like, we'll have to see. We'll have to see because, like we said, this is a new roster on the side of INVICT, and we predicted that they got enough of a strength on the roster. They get the first few rounds on the board, they start to run away with this. That's a little. Rise actually coming down from the 3rd floor, finding an opening pick on the Flighty there. And now he's going to pick up that nade and toss it around the corner, but it looks like a rotation comes in. That nade is going to find Gel. And this first round is going pretty well for Vanguard so far, but a nice counter nade. Ooh!
Oh, Rezi.
Picks it up just in time on the bounce back. That could have definitely been a clip you don't want to see on YouTube, but he managed to save it there.
Pistols in hand for everyone across the board, and they are going to crack that bottom floor B site. And man, what a great disrupt of the INVICT offense there by having that aggressive roamer up top. It basically, Vanguard took a page out of what I was suggesting INVICT do and got aggressive themselves. Absolutely shut INVICT down from being able to set up around site at all. And it has really been a complete stop of their momentum with this pistol round. Oh my, another kill.
Tire Tongue finally managing to find a little bit of an opening for this INVICT squad. But EMP being down outside, being pressured by Evil Jester on that top floor. So much map control on the side of Vanguard. INVICT got a lot of work to do to get back into this with just pistols in hand. Still got a minute left on the clock, but it's really going to come down to the kills at this point. They don't have enough map control to make an EMP play, I don't think. And the way that INVICT are positioned, that's definitely not really on the table at this point. 3 seconds. Evil Jester going to rotate back around and meet up with his teammates, which I think is a smart play. You've got the numbers. You're up 4-2. You play the trading game. It's just a numbers game, right? Even if you give up a kill, if you got a teammate there to trade it, as Cosmos doesn't even give up the first kill, just finds the headshot there and shuts that that attack from Tire Tongue down, and now it's all down to Fleet.
Wow, and Evil Jester just basically pre-firing through the doorway, assuming that there's going to be a push either through there or through the hole in the wall in the next 10 seconds, and they predict it quite well. Vanguard put on a very solid defensive round fill that, to me, feels like it kind of stops the momentum that was boiling up from this INVICT squad over these last couple of rounds, going 5-1 on their first half, their first match as a team. It's a great opener. But now they're going to get tested, I think. Now they're going to really have to see, can their coordination and their teamwork be something that carries them through to round victories on offense. That's what it takes on offense more than anything. You can have defensive positions sort of outlined in advance on defense. Offense, I feel like, takes a little bit more of an adaptable sort of flowing mentality in a lot of ways, especially if you lose people early. Those picks that can completely sort of disrupt flanks and rotations, prevent certain utility elements from being thrown or not thrown. And so it's, again, it's the test for INVICT right now as they get into their offensive half and as we get ready to get into round number 8. A quick shout out to everyone tuning in. We got quite a crowd on this Sunday night, Phil. It's a good group of folks tuning in to see what this INVICT squad's going to be bringing to the table.
Yeah, shout outs to the viewers. Love to have you here with us. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you are having a good time enjoying this with us. Helps out the channel quite a bit. Really appreciate it. Rise is going to be shutting down that drone. And like you said, this is going to be the real test. INVICT, I say this with any team. Any team can win together. Winning together is easy. The chemistry flows. The vibes are good. And when things aren't going well is when a team really does get tested. How well can a team hold it together when things aren't going their way and the kills aren't falling together? And they got to pull themselves out of a rut. Now, a bit of an interesting play. We've got Rezi and a little bit of a disconnect. Playing in from the bottom floor here. I wonder if we're going to see a bit of a juking style play here. They've got double door blockers here on the A bomb site, so that backstab isn't going to be able to go through without at least making a little bit of noise. Interesting to see the attacking ideas. INVICT have really slowed this down, perhaps giving their teammate a little bit of time to get back into the server. I believe it's Tire Tongue there that's got a little bit of a disconnect issue. But yeah, slowing things down, probably a smart choice here in the first round of this, or the second round of the second half, excuse me.
Resi is really kind of just guarding the bot. I wonder if they even knew it was a bot for the time that they were working with them, but it looks like they can't stop them for much longer from pushing forward. They definitely are going to rotate A with their bot as the garage site gets hit with a little bit of utility, and just in time, Tire Tongue reconnects, takes back over, and everyone shifts back over to garage to reinforce. Obviously not looking for that split and wanting to sync back up on trying to push B site.
Yep, and now taking over the bot. He does have an Omen in hand. Let's see if he can take this bit of a bold buy decision that the bot made for him and turn it into a couple of kills. See if he can get a little momentum on the board for his team. We've got, look at the stack here from Vanguard. 4 members solid and zombie not close by. Pretty much all 5 members here to hold down this B bomb site. Like I said, they got the double door blocker holding down that A side, so they really are just ignoring A completely and allowing them to focus all of their attention on this B hit. And until oh, it's gonna be a quick fast drop as Resi manages to find the trade on the evil gesture, almost gets the second on the zombie, and now the push on the front line comes through. Tire Tongue is now left all by his own. He's got that Omen in hand, and a Cosmo is gonna clean things up nicely. Vanguard put their 3rd round on the board as they get one step closer, tying things up.
A chaotic last-minute breach there, and I love to have that 3rd floor breakdown there that almost does work out for them. I think if they had crashed towards B site instead of A, we would have seen a bit more success there. Towards garage instead of that opposite direction, I think that could have gone the way of INVICT on offense. But it's another solid hold from Vanguard. They chip away at this lead round by round, and we are getting closer and closer to that tie territory, dare I say, Phil. I wish we didn't have it, but I still think it's a thing in private lobbies. I think that's one thing that hasn't changed from season to season, is that unlike the regular competitive matchmaking, private lobbies do not have that tiebreaker system. So,
yeah, I was curious about your thoughts on that, actually, because I did notice they added that to competitive, and I just found out the other day that that's not a thing for private lobbies. You think that would be a benefit?
I'd love to see it implemented. Yeah,
I think so too.
I'm tired of ties.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a winner for every map. One little sudden death round doesn't take too much extra time out of it. Can sometimes it'll even save us from going to a map 3. Other times it will make a map 3 an actual decider map as opposed to a chance to tie the overall series. Yeah, I'm with you there. Hopefully we get ties soon. Shout out to Triangle Factory if you're watching. We love you guys. Appreciate all the work you do. Not to add anything else onto your plate, but would be great to see. As we go into round number 9, and it looks like we are seeing a big rotation from INVICT. They're going to try and take a stab over towards the wine cellar side. Bit of a save round here, as the money not quite in their favor. They're going to stack things up and get a full buy round next round, it looks like, but not giving up hope on this round as Resi charging forward. He has Vezin in hand. I like putting the Vezin in the front here, despite him taking that damage to the wall. If he does go down, excuse me, his teammates will be able to pick that gun up, and you can potentially take gunfights with Vezin strong on all 5 of your accounts, even with only 2 Vezins up. They play it right. Oh, but Rise Optimal going to get the opening pick onto Flighty there. Nice little off angle from him. And Tire Tongue looks like he's going to try and get a little backstab going. There is a tripwire waiting through that door, so if he vaults in, he could be in for a nasty surprise. Looks like he's going to rotate back around. Evil Gesture finding a 2-piece, killing Resi, and also taking out a teammate there. Bot Nelson drops down, and we're into a 3v4 now.
Oh, yeah, it looks like Vanguard having some issues there as well, unfortunately. Reality of the online environment is that we cannot dictate those connection issues as INVICT now lose another. Optimal finds Tire Tongue. It's up to Flu the Great and Gelcule to make something happen, but that is not going to be easy with a limited overall. I mean, Flu has a Vezin. Gel needs to get something. They need to pick up one of the rifles off the body of their teammates, but I think that Vanguard picked those up and moved them away so they couldn't be used by their teammates.
Oh, Rise Optimal does get shut down, so we'll see if Gel is going to be able to recover some kind of gun. No, it is taken down, trying to rotate onto that staircase. A nice off angle there from Cosmos, and now we see a little bit more counter aggression. So far, but this time Flu ready for it. Now looking for that pick behind, but it's Zombie going to come out on top of that one. And one step closer, Vanguard bring us back almost to even here with a 4-5 scoreline. And definitely heavy momentum, but this is that gun round that INVICT has been saving up for. I think you're going to see them buy into pretty much 5 Vezins. As soon as I say that, I see a couple of SMGs coming out.
No, I think they went double Vezin. I think they went double Vezin by that last round. I think they had 2. So I think they partial buyed last round into a point where they now can't full buy here. And so maybe a little bit of a, wouldn't say mismanagement of funds, but an investment, and they did not get the result they were looking for with that investment. So they now find themselves in a bit of a tough spot going into round 10. They have limited amounts of rounds left to really be able to even win this map. It's almost do or die at this stage. You know, they lose 2 more rounds, and then the best they can do is tie.
Yeah, they've got, how many rounds we got left? 5, 6, 3 rounds left, and they're gonna have to win 2 of them to take this map. So you're right, they really only got 1 more round to lose, and after that, it's the best they can do is a tie. And on the attacking side, it looks like they haven't really been able to get the ball rolling quite as well as they were on offense, and that's what we were saying. Momentum based, this brand new roster might not have the chemistry yet to kind of pick up the pieces in the middle of a map when it's all falling apart. Things aren't going quite as you planned. But as I say that, Gel is just immediately charging in and taking that garage control. A little bit of spill damage as we get some wall bang shots. Rise Optimal once again on that lurk. He's being so effective finding these lurking kills, and he puts a nice pressuring nade into the garage there. It's not quite going to find any damage, but forces these INVICT members out of position as we see the wall getting foamed up now.
Washed ready to breach in through the window. Dark and Cosmos tucked into B site, the other 2 at A. Worried about, again, that potential hatch drop that INVICT did deploy just a few rounds ago, but it's gonna be another B site push, it seems. That's a good utility toss. That forces a rotation from Cosmos, forces Cosmos into a fight with Tire Time, but they find the kill. Over the top, Gel Q catches the refrag, but Cosmos still alive and well on that B site. Gel Q does catch an angle there. That nade not tossed over the top. It'd be like they were hoping, but Watch Flighty catches the angle they're hoping for. They catch Rise Optimal as well, and it leaves Evil Jester alone in a 1v3 trying to hold down site at B.
Yeah, and now this is what INVICT have been waiting for, the opportunity. Are they going to be able to close it out? And Gel, once again, finding the headshot in the 3v1, shutting Evil Jester's chance at that 1v3 down. Almost felt like Evil Jester had a timing there. As Rezi was going back to pick up the EMP, he had a little bit of an isolation there, 1v2. A little bit better than a 1v3, I guess. And if he could have gotten that double piece there, it would have been in a nice 1v1. But that's map point for INVICT. Now they just need 1 of the next 2 rounds. They're going to get 2 chances to seal the deal. And Vanguard, backs against the wall. They're going to have to win out in order to tie the map up.
Yeah, it's what they need right now. Just take a look at the scoreboard. We can see the KDs with Gel Q hitting that 10 kill mark. You know, definitely standing out that last round in particular with a couple of vital frags as well. So, not carrying, but definitely the kill leader on that INVICT squad. In comparison, they have 2 more that are at 8, so right behind them on overall frags. And then if you look at Vanguard, who have been battling right along toe-to-toe with INVICT, they've also got some good amount of kills on the board with 9 to Evil Jester, just a kill underneath the kill leader of INVICT. So it's been a tremendous back and forth today, Phil. We really gotten into a good one. Hats off to the folks at home who voted on this one because they wanted to see it. It's been, I guess, the back and forth that the connoisseurs thought it would be too. I mean, 43-20 in favor of Vanguard, actually. So if anything, it's going against what the connoisseurs are saying right now. INVICT on the cusp of taking map number 1 here in this best of 3.
Yeah, really glad, really glad we tuned into this one here tonight, as it has been that back and forth action that we love as viewers and as casters. You know, this drone is going to be able to spot this trip mine back into the top floor here. And it's a pretty solid buy that Vanguard have put together here. So I'm really excited to see how this one is going to play out. What kind of adaptation, what kind of grit, really, there is on the side of INVICT. And Rezi's popping off with 2 huge frags to open this round up. And it looks like INVICT really want to seal the deal and close this map off now. Dark here to defend. Cosmos rotating over with a counter nade. That nade finding its mark as Dark is going to go down the site. Pretty much open up. Cosmos immediately there to push into the site. Big counter aggression trying to bring this alive. But as his teammate went down on the backside, it's just him alone in a 1v5. Make that a 1v3 as he's got 2 so far, but it's going to have to be the ace. Oh, and the pressure is too much. As Flighty just charges down. Cosmos felt the pressure coming. I don't think he realized the enemy was quite that close. And map number 1 going the way of INVICT, on their way to an upset. I think we're one step closer.
I mean, that's the start. I believe they go into INVICT's map pick now as well. So I think they get to choose where we go for map 2, whether it's, I guess, they want to take offense or defense, or they want to pick the map. And I mean, Phil, they've managed to take Hideout away from Vanguard. A surprise, to say the least. I think Vanguard probably also surprised that it went that way. Now they have a chance to maybe go damn, maybe go somewhere where they're not going to have a lot of experience. It works both ways. Also, INVICT won't have a lot of experience, and as a new team, that might end up hurting them more. So who knows? But I am getting info that we're onto a 10-minute break coming in from INVICT. So if anything, they're looking to slow things down. After winning, they have called the timeout. So Rezi has informed me they are the ones that are taking this 10-minute break. So, I mean, that alone is kind of interesting, Phil. They want to slow down. They want to kind of say, hey, whoa, that was maybe they're surprised they got that map too.
Yeah, maybe needing to cool the jets, make sure they don't overheat into the second map. No, I think with we're seeing a little bit of disconnecting there from Tire Tongue. I think maybe something going on outside of the game that he needs to handle. Not sure, maybe a little technical difficulties. Definitely, generally speaking, you don't see the winning team wanting to jump into a timeout for mentality reasons. So, not sure what's going on there. But, I mean, yeah, what an awesome first map. Really excited to see INVICT, this brand new roster, step up against, I mean, really heavy hitters on both sides. We kind of were expecting the banger, and we're getting what we were hoping for. I'm really curious to see what the next map is going to be.
Yeah, we'll find out in about 10 minutes' time. A quick shout out to the Triangle Factory team for supporting VRML in our first season and second season, contributing into that cash prize pool for season 2 as well. Or season 3 rather. We haven't announced anything about that specifically, but they are contributing in, so you can expect to see some cash there for distributed across NA and EU for first, second, and third at the end of the season. And so already, you know, again, a big shout out to them so early on, committing in to another season with VRML. It's incredibly exciting, and I think this is probably going to be the biggest season yet, Phil. I mean, already we're seeing a tremendous amount of people invested in coming in and tuning into games, and I think the most amount of teams registered for a season so far. So we're setting records too with this season. The most amount of players for sure, as we breach over 1,500 total in season 3. So it's a growing scene right now, and it's great to see a bunch of new people jumping into the cast. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. We do a lot of regular season broadcasts here with a bunch of different broadcasters. If you want to be part of the broadcast team, you can do that by signing up with filling out an application on the Discord server, the VRML Breachers Discord server. And that's where you can basically sign up, apply for anything, where you can find all the info you need to join a team, apply for a team, create a team, get involved in the league right now. Just because the season started doesn't mean you can't join. You can join up into week 8 of the regular season as a new team or player. And so, you know, if you want to get in, now is the time. Start practicing, preparing, and getting ready for that end of season tournament for a chance at that cash prize pool. We'll have more coming up on that prize pool announcement later in the season. But for now, at least, a big shout out to Triangle Factory for supporting us. And yeah, we are going to go to a brief break. When we come back, we'll be jumping into map number 2 of this series. So don't go anywhere. Vanguard versus INVICT, and maybe the final map of the series coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to the Breachers VRML Season 3, Week 1, Vanguard versus INVICT. Oh, I almost said it, us. I almost put an us at the end. It's not there, it's just INVICT. Vanguard versus INVICT, Map 2. About to start as we wait for the lobby to fill up. I wanted to jump in and give a quick shout out to the folks that are tuning in, because like we were saying, there is a good amount of faces jumping in here today and hanging out in YouTube chat, and we do appreciate seeing you, and we like seeing all of the subscriptions that are coming in on top of the donations. Anthony Gonzalez contributing in with a $5 dono. We really do appreciate that. That goes back and supports the VRML and basically our whole operation. It helps keep the lights on, funds the website, servers, all that stuff that we do need money for. So we do appreciate any contribution that does come in. And yeah, thank you so much for that. But with that in mind, Phil, where do you see map 2? Have they picked it yet? Ooh, we know it's going to take us to ship.
New ship.
Yeah, ship's been changed a little bit, right? It's gotten a little bit of a tweak since last season.
Actually, more than a tweak. They got a full rework. Pretty much a completely new map on the inside. Outside, it looks almost the same, but even a lot of the breachable walls and windows on the outside were completely changed. It's basically an entirely brand new map. They've got a whole vent system on the inside now. It's much more opened up. Before, it was like the shoddy map where, you know, you could actually, with like a 10 nut or a Hurricane, make huge plays because it was so tight in close quarters. But they really opened it up and quite a bit. I like the new ship a lot better personally. I've heard mixed feelings about it from the player base, from the community, but apparently I think was it Vanguard's pick, or they seem to like it, and I like it a lot better. I like those longer range fights, those tight close quarter combats. Not really my jive, so I'm excited. I'm excited to finally get to see the new ship in a VRML match here played out.
Yeah, it's I mean, we talked about it with that dam map in the map pool and this rework, on top of some other maps that have seen changes over the last, off-season, preseason sort of break there. There's a lot of new coming in with this season. There's a lot that players and teams are going to have to adjust to. And, yeah, we get to take a look at the updated ship map for map number 2. We talked about it. If you're going to be INVICT and you're going to try and throw your opponent off guard, well, this is one way to do it, right? You're trying to get Vanguard off guard on defense. So maybe it's even a map that INVICT has specifically been practicing more than sort of leaving it as an unpracticed rework.
Yeah, one of the things I've heard, I think it was somebody in a Discord chat was saying how offensive sided the new rework is. I don't know. We'll find out right here as Vanguard start things off. They've taken a little control of this red engine room. Evil Jester gets shut down on the other side, but that vent getting quickly opened up. It's a Taurus versus Spectral fight, and the Spectral comes out on top of Watch Flight. He tries to pick up that Taurus off the body, and Rise Optimal is there for the trade. 3v4 now. So far, INVICT are showing that they know their stuff. This counter aggression has paid off pretty well, and they've got the man advantage now as they tuck in and hunker down on the bomb sites.
Pre-fire coming through to B. Wall gets opened up. The push coming in. Nice nade over the top. Doesn't catch anyone, though, on the backside. And Tiger Claw is going to swing out. Catches one. Can't catch two as Flew the Great scoops up another. Pushing out is Jalvelgo down in the refrag on the edge from Rezi. Shuts the advance from Vanguard. We've got ourselves a solid Vanguard defensive opening round on this map. And at this stage, Vanguard need to win this map to push us to a map 3 decider. The series is over, and INVICT take this in 2 against, frankly, all odds. Phil, again, the votes 43-20 in favor of Vanguard this afternoon.
Yeah, and that's, it's kind of I'm not so surprised, being that it's a new roster. We could see that there's heavy hitters on both sides. 43-20 is a pretty split vote for our connoisseurs. By the way, head over to the VR Master League website. The connoisseurs are free to jump in for anybody. You just kind of vote on which teams you think are going to win over there, and usually we see a lot of what does Bob call them? Bandwagon jumpers, where they see big numbers on one side and they just assume that people know something they don't, and they just hop on board. But to see a 2-to-1 split like that, 43-20, is
rare.
It's kind of showing that people were expecting a bit of a back and forth action that we're seeing here today.
It's almost one of the reasons I wanted to jump on this series was because it had such a good split. It's like, oh, these guys, the community clearly thinks this is going to be a close one, and it certainly has been. I mean, again, 4-7 map 1, INVICT, the underdogs taking it, a surprise to say the least. But maybe Vanguard are going to sort of stamp down here, lock in a solid defensive half themselves.
Ooh.
And maybe not. Tiger Claw finds an early kill. Resi peeks out. They go down. And that's 2 fast kills for Vanguard. INVICT down to a 3v5 before the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I saw picking up a grenade off of the body of Washed Flighty there. A little extra util to go in the bank. The big thing that INVICT is going to have to lean on for the rest of this round is the fact that Flu has that Vezin in hand. As they open up this wall, Flu might be caught in a bit of a rough position, tucking behind the counter here. There's going to be a big pressure onto this B bomb site. Blue Gel, Tire Tongue rotating over. Counter nade comes through. Might be able to find a little bit of damage, but goes a little bit too far. Shot EMP is going down. Kind of push is going to have to come in soon. Flu drops headshot with the Taurus at Vezin getting picked up immediately by Tire Tongue. He's not able to find anything, and it's just Gel now in a 1 versus 5. Picks up the Vezin. They know exactly where he is. He finds the first one. Looking for the second. He hits the second one with the flank from Evil Gesture wrapping around. Perfectly aggressively played there on the side of Vanguard, and they managed to steal the second round away. Once again, it's deja vu from the first map, Nightfire.
Yeah, it really is. They get a big windfall there of both cash and obviously a round win. That Vezin goes into their hands, carries through to the next round. That's 2,900 that they didn't have the round before. That's huge. So they're in a solid spot right now going into this one, and you can see INVICT feeling kind of that pressure, have bought in to this round as well with 3 Vezins and 2 pistols, echoing their cash just a bit in case they do lose again here. And Vanguard, in comparison, get 5 full rifles. I think if they hadn't, you got to invest, so I don't blame INVICT for investing in the Vezin, but it's just, to your point, Phil, definitely more seemingly offensive-sided, at least, with that pistol push being successful. And obviously it's 1-1, so it's too early to tell. It's the first time watching the news ship. Anything goes, frankly, but we'll see as we do get ready to get into round 3.
Maybe they've got something specific for this top floor bomb site, and they want to buy fully into it to try to give themselves the best chance of stealing this round. Big shout out to Dusty with $75, his 5th super chat here in the chat. Thank you so much for the support there, Dusty. We appreciate that. Ooh, big opening pick there from Tiger Claws. Immediately shuts the aggression there from Resi. Resi did only have a pistol there, though, so all 3 Vezins still strong. And it looks like Vanguard have an attacking idea already foaming up this wall into this B bomb site. Both walls, I think, are already foamed up. Synchronized breach. And they blow one side. EMP is already going down. Second wall gets blown up, and the timing is perfect. They catch a free kill, but Tire Tongue is there. Look at the aggression here, the coordinated aggression from Vanguard. Now it's just Washed Flighty here on the flank. Now they know exactly where he is. Nice nade coming through, but he's got so much work to do. Finds the first headshot, bringing it down to a 1 versus 3 now. Really uphill battle, though. EMP plan time is ticking away. He's only got less than 30 seconds already on the clock. 3 kills to find. This is almost an impossible round to win.
There it is, the kill from Optimal. Scoops up the headshot, and a second offensive point in the books, Phil, like you said. Offensive sided, maybe so. Ship was, I feel like, already kind of a toss-up, frankly. I don't know that we ever really got to settle in on, is it defensive or offensive sided? I think some people would lean defense. But regardless, it was starting to sort of evolve over the course of seasons. And now, with this huge change to it, I do wonder what the trend will be. And I do wonder when we side swap if Vanguard will get that equal chance, kind of like we saw in map 1 where they started to bounce back on the side swap. That might happen here with Vanguard. We'll have to see. It's obviously, again, too early to tell, with INVICT only taking a 1-point lead and another partial buy. Like I said, the way they ecoed it, it would leave someone able to get a Vezin. But I don't know. Nothing's changed on the eco end of things, right, Phil?
I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned with what I'm seeing. So in the first map, INVICT were able to get a full buy on the board and that full util control early on and roll with it in that first half. And in the second half, I saw some hints of some half buying, off buying, back to back. And I'm seeing some more of that here. So I wonder if it's a choice in their economic strategy. Like we said, in that last round, they didn't quite have that full buy. 2 players having pistols and kind of getting caught out without really getting a chance to kind of pick up a Vezin. We'll kind of have to see if it's a bit of a different strategy they're going for, or if they just haven't gotten the kinks ironed out. Resi is once again postured aggressively. He's got that Vezin in hand. He's going to find the first pick. This is the only Vezin for the team, so he kind of has to pop off and go big. The team now pushing out to back him up here. It's a 4 versus 4. His tire tongue did actually go down. They are trying to recover that EMP. He's got a nice timing here if he decides to peek up over this box, but Evil Gesture creeping in. That cloaking. He's gonna find the first one. Jester with the cloak is there. And a nice trade there by Gel, and he's gonna push forward, pick up that Vezin now, and rehold this spot.
Oh my
He finds
goodness.
the third on the Cosmos, and now it's just Tiger Claw. He manages to win the fight against Flighty, but now he's 4 points of health in a 1 versus 2. Oh, wallbang almost picks him up there, just barely getting out by the skin of his teeth. Tucked in behind this wall with everything to do. Tiger Claw 303. Let's see what he's got.
Huge plays coming in here, and an opportunity to get a Vezin in the hands of Flu the Great if they play their cards right. Obviously, Tiger has picked up one. They're 4-1, so definitely playing well for the team so far on the day, but can they find the double kill? They have found that Hell Syringe, so back up to 84 HP. Much healthier. EMP in hand, so they can control basically where the defense has to be. And I think the better strategy here is stack one site. Put your duo on one end. If they don't push that end and they do push to an A site or B, wherever you're not stacked, then you go for the retake. Instead, it seems like they are sort of splitting both ends, both sides, and that can get a little risky. You can end up kind of throwing yourself one at a time at your opponent, and that's exactly what Tiger Claw wants. They want to chip away at this defense one at a time.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that as well. My thought process is in a 2 versus 1, you want to play the numbers. In a 1 versus 2, your thought process is you want to isolate those 1v1s. And it looks like they've switched it up and kind of are playing a little more together. Of course, as soon as I say that, Gel is deciding to push back over to this B-bomb site. But this is the exact situation where Tiger Claw is going to be able to isolate a 1 versus 1 against Gel. And if he wins that fight, it pretty much gives him a clean reset. And now here we are in a 1 versus 1 situation. The odds of that 2v1 really don't take advantage of them at all. And a nice nade coming through puts a lot of pressure on the Flu. We're going to push around the corner. Nice audio fakes here. I like the way the Tiger is playing around this EMP. Puts the little tab, but Flu is not quite falling for it. He's staying tucked behind that counter. Clock ticking down. 15 seconds left on the clock, but Tiger, he might get a free kill if he finds the right timing. He does! He finds the headshot. The 1 versus 2 is complete. Beautifully played. And yeah, take notes at home. In a 2 versus 1, you got to stick together to play that man advantage. You do not want to give those 1v1 fights, as Tiger Claw just showed us.
Solid job from Vanguard. They go up 3-1. This half looking much better, Phil. They're in control. They're on the attack. They've got the pace set. And INVICT are scraping back and forth. I realized that I had the sides wrong initially with INVICT on defense and Vanguard on the attack here in this series. But it's it's very much going the way of Vanguard. They're keeping that pace the way they're setting it to the beat of their drum. And I think, again, I keep bringing it back to last map, but like last map, with one round in the door when it comes to side swap, maybe INVICT will be bringing an equivalent sort of focus, if you will, that we're seeing from Vanguard here on the offense. They're definitely locked in. This team is coordinated. They're approaching these objectives with I suppose the clutch moments too coming in, you know what I mean? But they definitely are adapting well too when they do lose 1 or 2 early. And so if they can keep that going, they seem to really be leaning on their teamwork and coordination here on this new ship map.
Yeah, the coordination really from Vanguard has very much impressed me. The way they've been applying pressure from multiple angles at the same time really makes it difficult to kind of make those big plays that INVICT are really trying to pull off. But INVICT kind of going back to their guns. They've got one roamer on the upstairs. That's Rezi, and the 4 players tucked in the side. We're seeing a little bit more of a quick play as Vanguard has worked their way in. They've blown this B-wall up already, finding the opening headshot on to Gel. EMP is down on the ground. The counter push is trying to come in from Flu. Rezi gets taken down on the roam. Flu is going to be able to get the trade off of the EMP, but Evil Gesture is there for the counter, and Tiger Claw with a huge 3-piece, charging, really spearheading that charge for his team. And it's another clean round. Another beautiful example of a coordinated push there from Vanguard. They get their 4th round on the board.
That is solid work right there. That was a fast push, and again, they've sort of been slowly working their way in. A little bit of maybe 30 seconds slower, not that much slower, but they've been slowly working their way into sites. That was a much different sort of paced push there, as they do crash in and lock in a solid round. Now they go in. Round 6, the last round of the half, they've got a 4-1 lead, looking to make it 5-1. It's basically roles reversed from last map with Vanguard now in control.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful change of pace there. You know, it's a little bit like a change up. You throw, you're throwing these slow kind of curveball pitches, this slow pace, and as soon as INVICT really try to adapt to that pace, you throw a quick, fast one right up the middle and catch them off guard. That was beautifully done. Really, not sure who the in-game leader is for Vanguard, but I really love the call there. I think. Nah, I'm not gonna speculate. I'm not gonna speculate on who IGL is just now. I don't know these rosters as well as I did a couple seasons ago. Let's see what they bring to this final round here in the first half. Drone immediately getting taken out. I like the counterplay from Flighty there, peeking through that door blocker, shuts any scouting opportunity down from Vanguard. Now they're gonna have to think twice before pushing in to this control room here, to the pilot's side of the ship. We're on the top floor. Oh, a huge double piece from Rezi. Peeks around the corner and catches both Tiger Claw and Rise Optimal right as they come around that corner. And that's going to put a dent in this push here from Vanguard.
The duo, Zombie and Jester, working in, and Rezi finds two more. Shuts down Jester and Zombie from working forward, and it's all up to Cosmos in a 1v5. Not exactly optimal for them on their entryway or their last round of the half.
Rezi on for the ace here. You know, he wants it. I wonder, is Cosmos going to give them a chance? I mean, this is the last round of the half. You gotta go for this, right? You can't save. We're switching sides after this. Your money is getting reset. There's no point in bringing any utility that you just can't bring utility into the next round. So he's going to have to take a shot, and Rezi just kind of stalking on the other side, hunting down, trying to find the opportunity. He wants to put that ace on the board, probably get the clips in for his YouTube. Huge round from him regardless of what happened. Really, really a tall order for Cosmo. He looks like he's going to try to lurk in and make something crazy happen from the bottom floor, creep up the staircase. But brilliant round so far. Really, really intense. 4 pieces. It was so fast. Within like 10 seconds, finding 4 kills is very impressive stuff.
Yeah, that is huge. What is the overall KD? Yeah, 7 total. So definitely a big round. As they're almost doubled their total KD. And again, on the hunt for that ace. Ooh.
Trigger discipline
will be
here.
Poking out there. Yeah, they're hoping to get a few more with the swing. They catch 1. They catch 2. That's a nice push. Looking for Rezi, and there it is, the ace. They catch all 5. Rezi managing to clutch up for the team. And INVICT get 2 on the board. That's pretty huge, Phil. And we talk about, especially if this map's going to be offensive-sided, for them to get 2 defensive rounds, it might just be enough for them to now rally on this pistol round on the attack.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them do really well on the pistols. The main difference here is going to have to be that second round. Once they get the pistol, they got to learn how to, or not learn, they got to figure out a way against Vanguard to roll that into a second round win and keep that economic. Because really, you win the pistol, it gives you that slight economic edge. It's not until you win the second round after that that you really kind of go into the first buy round with that. If you lose the second round, that money just switches, because anything that you invested to take advantage of that economic advantage then goes over to your team, and then they take that into the next round, and it snowballs against you. So it can really hurt. But anyways, gotta start with the pistol. Getting a little ahead of myself here with the thinking ahead. They gotta win the pistol first, INVICT, and yeah, this comeback could definitely be very alive. Let's see what they bring to the table, how much experience they have with this new ship rework.
A little bit of drone work coming in, and they won't find much. Cosmos is there and does take it down. And that's a good nade to the back there. JelQ has to push forward, right up to the fight, right up to Evil Jester, who finds the refrag, a 1-for-1 trade on site. Another nade coming up. That nearly cost them their life as Rise Optimal gets chipped down to 3 HP. There's a nice peek out from Jester. That scoops up another as that frag just barely misses. And the trio trying to work their way into this site. There's a big kill from Flu. Shots back from Zombie with the Taurus. Those don't connect, and we're into a 3v3.
Yeah, it looks like the push getting completely shut down over here on this A. We're going to see a big rotate come in on the side of Victus. Watch Flight, he's already worked his way up the stairs, so I think he might have been the one calling this audible. And oh no, I guess they're just completely backing over to the B bomb site, and they got the read. Vanguard seemed to be realizing what happened. Everything slowed down, immediately shifting back over to this B bomb site. They're going to be ready for this rotate, and it is going to be once again. The battle will continue. It was an intense little choke that INVICT found themselves in. Double nades getting pushed in. It was like, I mean, honestly, they're pretty lucky Still have 3 members alive with how good those nades were over on the other side.
Yeah.
Home goes up. I think Rise Optimal is going to have the audio cue on that. Looking to peek
So
around the
low on
corner.
HP.
Resi turns just at the wrong time. Oh, but the wall bang trade from Washi, catching him through the wall. That's a huge trade there from Flighty.
Keeps it close. Flew the Great takes big damage, though, and with them so low, it's definitely a fight in favor of Vanguard. The one-shot Taurus going to be
like
potentially the demise or the success of Zombie here on the whole. But it looks like INVICT maybe going for a Roto.
Yeah, a little fake. They breached that wall and used the distract as a chance to push him to A, but Tyrant Claw's already here. He finds the kill, but immediately traded by Flighty. Now it's 1v1. EMP's going to go down. It looks like he's going to stick it. Oh, no, he's going to go for some peek, and he finds the headshot onto Zombie. Huge play there from Flighty, and is going to give the pistol over to this INVICT squad.
Anyone's win after the swap is what Angel says in chat. And a shout out again to everyone tuning in. I see Cerulean here. I see Scout, Weirdo, The Weak Moves, Ivis, Flux, Angel, Day La 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 La, Weirdo, and a bunch of other folks hanging out in a chat. And a big shout out to, again, all of you tuning in, to the folks that have donated. We greatly appreciate that support. And to the folks that are subscribing, welcome in. Please do hit that sub button. Join us. Become a VRMLian. I don't know. A Breachers fan at the very least, as we're going to be doing a lot of this. This is just week 1. And we've had already, I think, like a record amount of broadcasts for a week, too. I mean, like, honestly, we probably cast the most we've ever cast in a week in this first week of the season. So there's going to be a lot more to that point. Highlight videos, interviews, all that kind of stuff coming as well. So keep the eyes peeled on the channel. Hit the sub button. Be sure to tune in for more of these games. And obviously, don't go anywhere here because we could be headed to a map 3 at this pace.
Yeah, INVICT aren't going to want to go to a map 3. They're going to want to close things out in 2, having 1. And it looks like they bought a little bit heavier. They've got 2 Vezins here, but an unfortunate disconnect. Once again, Tire Tongue just having some connection issues here all night. Unfortunate for them, but they really, like I said, this is their opportunity to roll that pistol win into a second round win and really take that economic advantage into the first buy round. And they're on track to do that. Both of these Vezins have worked their way into the engine room. Gel with that Vezin is going to find an opening headshot onto Zombie. Wall gets blown up. The pressure is here. There is a flank in the form of Rise Optimal that could spring at any moment. Trades flying back and forth, but it's Resi and Team INVICT on top. And Rise Optimal on that flank is now the only one alive. And I think they're onto this. Yep. Oh, Tire Tongue actually gets caught out, just reconnecting into the server. Probably the only one that wasn't aware of where that flank might be coming from. That Flighty cleans it up. And it's a tie game, 4-4. And now INVICT do have that economic advantage going into the first spiral. Let's see how much of a snowball effect. Like you were saying, Angel pointed out in the chat, and like I predicted earlier, this does seem to be an attack-sided map now after the rework.
Yeah. It's going the way of INVICT now, and as they get closer and closer, the reality starts to set in, Phil, for this Vanguard team. A reality they have to kind of fight instinctually, that they are just 3 rounds away. They could lose 3 more rounds and the series could be done. We won't even play a 3rd map. But they also are 3 rounds away from pushing us to that map 3 decider. You know, map 1 on Hideout, a absolute great back and forth. And now, I mean, map 2 even closer here on ship. This is, I feel like INVICT's map to lose, whatever the saying is, but they definitely are in control right now off of a couple of solid pickups there on offense.
Yep, and the in-game UI, you can kind of see in that bottom left, there's a couple of pistols on the side of Vanguard. So that's a huge, that can make a huge difference, especially on the defensive side. If the attackers get the kill on those Vezins and manage to take the map control, not allow their teammates to pick up those guns, I mean, trying to fight against a Vezin with a Spectral is just so difficult. Even if you find the headshot, you got to get, what, 2 headshots? Versus that Vezin is just fully automatic, 1 headshot, fully kills. It's a brutal mismatch of firepower for sure.
Chester on a big roam on the top floor, and I think they got spotted by the drone. So they rotated to the other side, and this rotation could pay off or it could cost them their life as Tire Tongue catches them out. That's one of the Vezins gone, one of 3 that they had down and dusted on the top of stairs, so it would be a big rotation to go and get them at this stage.
Yeah, when you get picked off as a Vezin on the roam, not very confidence inspiring for your teammates to try to pick that up because you're so far spread. Is that a wallbang kill?
I think so.
He's in the middle of B site. The ball is just now getting blown. Nice nade coming through. He's going to push Cosmos out of his spot. Rise Optimal tucked in the corner here with that Vezin in hand. He's going to have to go big, give his team a shot at this one. Entire Tongue with a nice two-piece, and Gel able to close things down on the other side. Beautiful round there from INVICT as they take the lead now for the first time here on Ship.
Just a couple more points to go. 2 more on the board. They've got themselves a series. They've got themselves, quite frankly, Phil, a eye. You know, they've caught the eye of the user at this stage, of the folks at home, of the VRML audience, with a win against Vanguard right here. It's a really good start to their season. Even if they do end up losing, they put enough points on the board, quite frankly, to really establish themselves as a team that is going to be competing at a high level going into Season 3, you know, and I think that's what they came in to achieve in particular. That's what you're always looking for. As a new squad in your first week, you gotta establish yourself early, because it gives you a chance when it comes down to weeks 3 and 4, if you can continue to win, to get some crazy matchups against opponents that you may not get an opportunity to go up against regularly. And those moments are when you can really make or break a new team. You can break in to the upper echelon. It's not that hard. If your team can win, if your team is good, you can be a squad at the top, especially at the start of a new season. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and you need to get games against those better teams to really find out any weaknesses. I mean, there's always room for improvement, and against teams where you're just kind of stomping through, they don't really there's a lot of room for error. You could be doing things wrong, but the other team might not perhaps be able to punish those mistakes until you get up to the higher echelon. And that, you know, in those high, it's not, ooh, big pick there from Rise Optimal with the Omen. But yeah, you don't want to be finding out you've got holes in your strategy in the grand finals, as we see no holes in the attacking of this INVICT squad so far. But as I say that, Evil Jester fights back with a kill, but immediately traded out by Tire Tongue and Rezi finding Zombie on the other side. Now it's just Tiger Claw and Cosmos with that just Cosmos as he finds himself in a 1v2, and Tire Tongue once again, another huge kill from him. Took a look at the scoreboard. He's up 7-7. Really big last couple of rounds from him. He's been opening things up well for this INVICT squad as they find themselves on map point.
That double kill, definitely impressive, and I think definitely hurts the Vanguard squad. That was an eco round, though, so now it's full buy, and now it's do or die, Phil. They have to win these next 2 rounds on defense to push it to a tie, and then we go to that weird spot in map 3 where we could have a tie or we could have a champion. It'll depend. And so it's also it's a moment where INVICT really need to lock in this round. They cannot allow Vanguard back in. They've got an opportunity to take this whole series right here in this next round. And it's pressure that I love to see. It's only pressure that you get at a hyper-competitive space when you get into the VRML. And some teams excel with it. Some teams struggle with it. And I imagine both of these teams familiar with this pressure. And I'm curious to see how this round unfolds with everyone with all the utility they need and all the rifles in hand.
Yeah, I mean, INVICT, you gotta admit, they're in a really great spot right now. Having so much extra money in the bank, they really, I mean, winning this round would seal the deal, but even just doing a bunch of damage economically, being that all of Vanguard is bought down with practically nothing left in the bank, any damage they do now, they're going to be able to full buy next round no matter what happens. And Vanguard are going to be in a bit of a tough spot to refill any Vezins that go down with that loss bonus. Ooh, Tire Tongue taking a lot of damage with that wall spam there from Zombie. Still firing off, not finding much more. That wall does get foamed up as a little bit of map control going over, and Gel finding an opening pick on Evil Jester. 1 man down. That's 1 step closer to the end of this map and this series. It is series point here for this INVICT squad.
Definitely not the opener they were hoping for. Jester looking for that early pick, poking and prodding for it early on. Couldn't quite find it as the team advances up, and now they're all set on that outside of A, ready to break in as a nice smoke comes in to deny some vision. A follow-up nade in the smoke. The push coming in as Rezi barrels forward, looking for kills. Over the top, more go down, trying to find Rezi, and through the smoke, suddenly Tiger Claw is left alone. A nade that bounces off the corner, catches one. Tiger Claw looking for more. They'll get picked up by Flu and Gelcule. And the double kill comes through. INVICT lock in 2 maps, and the series is theirs.
Beautiful stuff right there. I love it. You could tell the Sharks, they smelled blood in the water and they immediately collapsed. They weren't even worried about planting the EMP there. They just knew this is the final kill standing between us and a series victory. And we're taking this series down right now. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there from this brand new INVICT squad. I think we're definitely going to be seeing more of them.
Impressive.
Very bright future for this team. What a great match to have tuned in here today.
The 20 folks that voted on INVICT are happy, and the 40 on Vanguard are certainly a little bummed out that their connoisseur rating is taking a hit. But a stellar series to tune into here this afternoon, Phil, and that will be it for us on the afternoon. INVICT take 2 maps, Hideout and Ship, 4-7, 4-7, and a surprise win. The underdog coming out on top. It's why we like to tune in to these games, Phil, and I'm so happy that we caught this one. A shout out to all the folks that did hang out and tune into it. A shout out to all the new people subscribing, all the folks that donated. We appreciate you so much. This first week has been incredible. To kind of put a bow on the entire week, because it is the last match of our first week of Season 3. I'm incredibly excited. Season 3, I think, is going to be the most hyped season we'll have, with all of the content we've had planned in mind, the highlights, the deep looks, all of that stuff. It's going to be so great. You're going to want to be subscribing to this channel, so do if you haven't already. And if you want to be involved, you can. Volunteer right now. You can sign up, fill out an application. We're always looking at those apps and bringing new people in over the course of a season. But that will be it for us here this afternoon. My name has been Nightfire with 2 E's, my co-caster Philibust. A quick shout out to Triangle Factory for supporting the VRML in our 2nd season. And with that, we'll see you next week for week 2. Until then, stay classy. Reacher's VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager.